I know you've been when you need me, when you need me, baby.
I think first question, mate, we just sort of just talked off cam there. Just how do you digest that? What's running through your head?
Obviously, like I say, I'm fucking disappointed. You know, certain factors I think didn't help, but I know what I need to change. Like don't get me wrong, P's a great coach. Neil Wayne's a great coach, but me and P are still learning. You know, we're only just bonding now. So he don't know me inside and out. So a few other stuff what I usually do, took a back step, my running, which showed. I fatigued a bit. I fatigued a lot going into that fourth round. There were a moment in fight. I think it was back end at third. We had a clash of heads and I saw a flash of light, and that knocked my senses a bit. But like I said, I can't knock, in any way or form. I can't knock, Danny Christie. He won that night. But what it did, I saw every punch until that moment. I saw every punch. I thought I would, in control. And then, like I said, I started to fatigue. And when you fatigue, you don't make the right decisions. And I stood over to his right, and my game plan was not to exchange right hands because I know that's his main weapon. And as soon as I switched off a bit, that's it. I went to exchange rights, and he beat me to a punch, and that was it. That was fucking beginning and end. And I was that fatigued. When I got back up, I got rushed, which I know were coming, but rather than trying to angle off, because I just stayed there and tried trading with him and fucking end game and won it.
Is the goal there because you understand the fatigue that someone's got to finish the fight there? That's how tired you are.
Yeah. It's like I said, leading up to it, I think I'd had conversations with you before. My running took a back step. I must say I didn't do no running. I did at the beginning at camp, and then that fate once P come back, that had to stop because I was boxing all the time. But I have to be very smart with my training. I can't train twice a day like I used to do all the time. I have to choose my days when I train like that. But when you're boxing, it's intense all the time. So when I was having intense lessons, but then I'm not getting my longevity cardio in, I'm not getting my sprints in because I needed time to recover for the next boxing session. So it's just, again, each fight, if I don't learn from it, I'll be back to square one, which I do know where I went wrong, what the factors I need to change. But regardless, it was Christie's night that night, so hats off to him for winning, but I was in control to end.
Did anything shock you about Danny in the fight?
I saw every shot. I expected him to be a lot more explosive. But like I say, up until that point, when I saw fatigue and that kicked in, I saw everything. And then, like I say, but it's a game of inches. Like I put on my post, one wrong move, and especially in bare knuckle, it can be game over. But that's the game we're in. There's two go in. There's only one what can come out a winner. So
going back to the start of the fight, how much of an effect did it have that your walkout music didn't play?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little factor. They were playing in my head, and what the fuck's going off? Obviously it's unsettling because that's it's a part
it's
of what
a big
you
part
say.
of it, innit? I was thinking that. I put a little video on YouTube this morning. I was like, if that had happened to me, I think I'd have just said I'm not walking out until the music's coming, especially not when you put time and effort into it. It means a lot to you. It gets you fired up.
Yeah, well, like I say, especially because we've been working on that a bit. Everything, obviously, Josh had been doing it for me, and we got one what really got me, in zone. So it was a bit unsettling, but what did show, I did get to show again, I was the more skillful boxer, my movement, everything, my head movement. But like I say, just that one moment, and on it thing now, still have to let it all digest. It's a big dint in my pride, but I can't let this moment, one loss, define me. A lot of haters are going to be absolutely buzzing, but that's just, again, name it game, but all it does is empower me more but it has driven me more as well because America's still on table, Bkfc's been in touch. Obviously, I want a rematch. I've been in talks for quite a while about dropping weights, but I keep getting offered fights. I'm just keep going, it's a good name, fuck it, let's go. But I could get, like I say, 85 on one day. I think I thought probably about 86. So I could easily get down to 81, 82 without even towing and do a proper cut, 'cause I didn't even have to do a walkout out.
What were exchanged, if you can remember, in the post-fight? Was that when the rematch was? Did Danny discuss that?
Yeah, he said rematch, yes, which obviously he spoke of, he don't know what he's doing yet, and obviously it's Bkfc. But that's, to me, that's what's on it's on my cards, you know. I want that. I think 3 times, 1 out of 3 fights, I think he'll win. And rest I'll win. You know, he's got the power in his hands, which I knew he had beforehand. But his heart, his soul, and determination got him through it. I had him in trouble in second. I opened that cut up in third, and I started going for a cut, and then I went, because I got a bit of a bollock in corner as well off coach, because he could see I started to slow down.
What's Wayne saying then to try and digest that? What's he trying to put across to you there?
But I was losing concentration. But that was fatigue setting in. And I just, as it said, I saw the cut and I started going for it, and rather than thinking straight, I moved into his dangerous side, rather than taking my time in and out again, plenty of feints, and then hey presto, we got the fucking win. But
I haven't watched the fight back yet. Are we watching it back tonight?
Yeah.
The first time that you went down, like, we'd had a couple of shandies. We were trying to concentrate on doing a bit of podcasting live as well. What was the actual shot that knocked you down first time? Because I missed it.
It was a straight right.
Straight right, did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, straight. Just as I was just about to throw my right, I stepped to his right, and just as I cocked my arm back, I was squared on as well, and it was a peach of a shot. Yeah. It just fucking. I had no behind me. You know, my legs weren't behind me. It was my ass straight. Sat on my ass straight on my back.
And when you stood up from that, did you feel a little bit dazed, a bit dizzy, or were you?
Yeah, I'm just fatigued, mate. Completely fatigued. Yeah. It takes a lot out of you. We're 2 big guys as well, you know what I mean? And I move like a fucking welterweight, you know. But I showed, you know, my ability stood out, I think. But hats off to him, like I say. It don't matter how much you put in, even if you deserve it more, you know. I've trained for years, but like I say, I can't let this one loss determine my career. And what I have to do now is regroup, get myself together, and then change. I know where I went wrong, where my camp went wrong. I wasn't confident in my fitness, even though I had some good spars, but I wasn't confident in you know, having the hard 6 rounds. And I did believe I was going to get him out before then. But yeah, it's like I say, you've got to learn from it, and that's it.
How long does it take to bounce back from something like this mentally? Does it take a week to digest, longer sometimes?
Oh, like, all it's done is lit a fire. Like, it's a little hurdle in my path on my journey. I mean, all what I've got, I had in it just for a 10-minute, you know, interval. I mean, you've got your pioneers like Jimmy Sweeney, Jimmy McCory, Sean George. You know, they were there from the beginning, you know what I mean? And the reputations what they've, you know, obtained over in this country. I'm wanting to go over to America. This is what I'm saying. I'm wanting to reach out. I've made my name over here. I've had this blip in my career, but it ain't going to define me as a person. And all it's going to show, you know, I'm going to show you a character I am. One fucking humping road ain't going to fucking steer me off track. I'll go back to the drawing board, change, correct what went wrong, and fucking make sure it doesn't happen again. And the fitness being one of them, I do need to run. It's a big thing is running, and I need to be doing the sprints once a week, my hour run once a week, and that's got to be definitely done.
That's foundational stuff.
Yep.
I've got a question for you. I've got a couple of questions actually. Have you watched Danny's video that he posted on YouTube yesterday?
Yeah.
What do you think to that?
Yeah, I mean, hats off to him. Luckily, I'm still better looking.
I think he has got a lot more noticeable damage on his face than what you've got
Yeah,
today.
but he did. He got the win, and that's all that matters, doesn't it? You know, like I say, I can't knock his heart. His heart were there, you know. There were a couple of, like I say, he were rocked in second, and that cut, it was fucking a massive
It was
gash.
a big old gash. Well, was that a clash of heads or was that a shot?
No, uppercut.
Was it
Uppercut, and then I caught him a few more to keep opening it up.
Yeah.
We did clash heads. I think, like I say, I don't know if we were back in the second or third, but that did, when we clashed heads, it was like a fucking flash of light as well. So obviously that might have helped. Unlike unlike power bars, you know, like on computer, each knock on your head is like knocking your power bar down, and then obviously, he landed his peach. So
He said on that video that he'd be willing to do some training together. Obviously, if you're going to be doing a rematch, are you going to be getting involved in any training, or are you going to?
obviously not beforehand, but before his career ends, and obviously we're going to both have options. I've got to meet up with management. We've been discussing again, like I said, dropping weights for some time now. But if that's on table, I can't leave that as it is. You know who I am. You know, I could easily just think, oh yeah, fuck it, money fights. But it's one I've got to fucking go back and see again. I believe he's a man of his word, and yeah.
In an ideal world, what timeline there?
Well, he's having some downtime, and I'm only having a week off, and I'm straight back at it. Like I say, it's made me hungry. You know, I haven't been hungry all the time, but just makes me more determined than all else. And if all the people that's watching, we have fucking shit happens in life. We can't. Every time shit happens, we can't throw a fucking towel in. Where we're gonna get, you know, with that sort of attitude. So, just gotta fucking put his heart and soul into it and keep driving forward. That's all we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever bounced back like there from a tough fight? What does that feel like? Because there's no advice. I bet you get everyone who's trying to chuck you advice. I bet it's so hard to register all this information.
Mainly coach. You know, because I have. It has been an intense camp, but you know, in the wrong way. You know, a lot of sparring, a lot of damage on body, and I am an older athlete now, so I should be training smart. I don't need hard spars, you know. Obviously 1 or 2, but I don't need to put my body through that. I need to concentrate on one ticket, cardio, you know, engine. And I've got all the skill set. All I have to keep doing is sharpening that. You know, as you saw, head movement and everything were on fucking point. I saw every punch come in until I fatigued, so...
Being a more mature fighter, does it still bruise your ego when you fight? When you lose a fight, sorry.
Oh, of course, honestly. I couldn't speak to anybody after. No. You know, my family were there trying to get in, all thinking is, you know, I love yous, but...
Just leave me alone.
I needed that space. I mean, my phone blew up. You know, I've still not got through all messages yet. But I love the support, you know. Thank you very much. I love in winning and losing. It was very nice, you know, to feel that love. But I'm determined. I've got to keep moving forward and just keep aiming at my dream. It doesn't change fuck all of how I think, how I feel. Obviously, my pride's dinted, but it's something what can easily be fixed.
You just asked then about bouncing back from fights. I noticed my first ever fight when I was 16 or 17, the one that I lost in the first round when Brainy were kicking off after. I went to Marriott next day.
Is that Joe Brain by any chance?
Yeah. I went to Marriott next day, and me ego that bruised, mate. I just took it out on anybody else that fucking pissed me off on the strip. But I was a young kid. I didn't handle it well, and then I got back to training after, whereas any of my most recent fights that I've lost, I've just like took positives from it, bounced back, and...
Yeah, I can't go out after a fight because I'm still that, with the occasion, the build up to it, I'm that hyped up anyway, and you're guaranteed you always get some pissed up dickhead. Yeah.
Well, you won't be able to enjoy yourself. It'll just be everyone on you like, oh mate, I fucking love you.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I love the attention, you know, and I love the support, but sometimes, you know, when you're just on that downtime, you just want that. You don't want to speak about fighting.
Probably not even a smart move going out after you lose a fight.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, even if you win a fight, I don't like going out.
No.
And one, you don't know what knocks you take as well. And drinking, and then when you go to sleep, it's Wayne, highlighted this for me. You know, you don't know what damage you've took that fight. So if you have a drink, you don't know if you're going to fucking wake back up, you know, concussion or anything. So, my advice to any young fighters out there is don't touch drink after until a few days.
I think it's a wise move there, almost going back to the cave, regrouping, assessing, and then decide on the next path.
Yeah, well, I've got to meet with management, like I say, and we're all, like I say, we've been taught from start at Bkfc, we've been saying what to fight a lot lighter, but they offered Darren Andre, said, oh, were you fighting first? Then they offered Christie, oh, what now, I want to drop down weight, but yeah, fighting, they can drop down weight. Which, I've got to make a choice now. My pride or my fucking career. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not settled, but before Christie retires, I would like that opportunity for a rematch.
What fights, not trying to think too far ahead to the future, what fights are at that weight that makes sense?
I'm not sure. Any fight makes sense. You know, look how I move at my weight and the power. I've got power to knock lads out. Like I said, Christie were days that Andrew were down. Ryan Barrett a lot heavier than me. You know, each person I've floored. I've always other than Christie, but so what damage can I do to somebody? What's fucking 81, 82? I mean, I train with a lot of that weight group anyway. You know, like the likes of Rico. I like to do that for their speed, and it seems lower you get, the more technical they get. But how will that weight group be able to handle my strength and my movement as well? Because I can move like a welterweight at that size. So how would I move at their weight?
When you're backstage, do you get a chance to watch any of the fights building up?
I was watching a few, yeah.
You watch Rico fight?
Yeah, no, I was warming up. Sorry, I was warming up then. Yeah, I was gutted. Brother Kennedy lost.
Bad break in his hand, you see it?
Yeah.
No, I
See
did.
X-ray
I've
picture
seen
this morning?
X-ray on online, but yeah, I was upset about that, like, because it's obviously been one of the lads. I've been down at AVT training with on the Tuesdays, so yeah, it's a bit horrible fighting last as well, because you're seeing people coming in and out, and you're getting ups and downs of people, you know, demeanours coming in and out as well, which you've got to try and blank it out. But I tend to feel everything, me, which it's probably a downfall. But
Why don't I'm probably speaking out of turn here. I can't grasp why, if you're not making that walk to, what time was it, about 10:15? Why have you got me there at 5 o'clock?
yep, that's another question. I think it's just to get everything, you know, so everything's in place and not running about last minute for production and that. But yeah, it's quite annoying because it's a long old day.
Yeah.
You know,
You could be relaxing and roll up pretty much at 8 o'clock.
I mean, that's probably the worst thing, you know, the 2 days leading up to the fight, then you have to do the weigh-ins and stuff. And it's quite draining because you're just fucking stood about, waiting on their time. But maybe it's something they could look up, but I think it works for them for production because obviously they have to be to a strict timing. So, but again, the arena I thought were absolutely brilliant. Again, gutted about the music. You know,
Was it cold in changing rooms?
Yeah. But
Johnny Graham walking about in a Montclair jacket on it off.
Yeah, we're cold in venue. I thought when we were doing weigh-ins, I was thinking, fucking hell, they put heaters on.
Chilly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not to take the attention away from your fight, but did you manage to watch any other fights that had been on this weekend? Been quite a lot of boxing and stuff on this weekend.
No, I've not caught up on it yet, mate. I've just been in my own head, analysing. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I think I've watched Fight Back now a million times.
Oh, yeah.
I can't help myself. Someone's got in taxi, not it. We've got not taxi. Give my mate's car, or giving us a lift. Straight phone out, watching, thinking, what the fuck, you know. But like I say, I can take a lot of positives from it as well.
100%.
I'm
Did you see that Tank Davis beat Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, I watched that.
Did you watch the fight?
I saw the knockdown in round 2. What round did it end?
He knocked him down in round 2, and then in 7th he knocked him down with a body shot.
Yeah.
And Ryan Garcia took a knee. To be fair, look, I thought we were going to fight on.
I've only seen like that little clip in round 2, but what I did see, he didn't use his range. He tried smothering him, and why the fuck would you do that with? But he's a young fighter.
He overcommitted a lot as well, and
Yeah.
everyone was saying to him before, don't overcommit, because that's when he's going to land the shot. And the 2 shots that he overcommitted there, that's when he landed.
Yeah,
a
he
bit
seemed,
beat.
well, like I say, he just seemed too up close. I thought, why are you fighting that, that range? But
Yeah.
he's still a young fighter. He's got a big career ahead of him. Is he overrated? I know he's got fast hands and everything, but I don't know. We'll soon see, won't we?
Mm-hmm.
I've got no more in Tank Boys, me. I'm
Still feeling it from
I'm
the
still
weekend.
I'm still struggling a little bit, yeah.
So,
If you got anything else, maybe give a little bit of a shout out to just finish on support, a little bit of sponsors. Obviously, this train keeps rolling.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've lost this one, but please, continue support throughout. It means the world to me. I mean, I ain't going to stop. It's a blipping road. All your support, it helps me, it drives me. And to get the continued support after I've lost as well, I just can't thank you all enough. The sponsors, I can't do it without you. I have to put my heart and soul into it. And where I am, I have to train full time. I mean, I was going to go back to B team, but where I'm at, the level I'm at, it's an elite level, and I can't have another job. It needs to be solely focused. It's shown this fight as well, solely focused on boxing, and get myself to the perfect place.
We're built for struggle. We're built to contend with the world. We're built to contend with reality. You want a challenge, and the best way that you can take on a challenge, because a challenge fortifies you. So you don't want to be secure, you want to be strong. And you get strong by taking on optimal challenges. And so you lay out your destiny in the world, and you take the slings and arrows of fate, and you make yourself stronger while you're doing so. And you might fail, and fortune might do you in, but it's your best bet. And you know, people have extracted unbelievable successes out of catastrophic failures. And so, and I'm not saying that in a naive way. I know perfectly well what happens to people. You know, you're doing fine in life, and then you get cancer, and then 6 months later you're dead. And all the heroism in the world isn't going to save you at that point. But that's not the point. Life is bounded by mortality. But that doesn't mean that you don't get out there and contend, and you develop by contending, and you minimize the net amount of suffering in the world. And that's something, man. That's something to do.